Well, welcome again. I'm just going to read through another of the poems of Sappho, since the other one I did seems to have attracted some interest. And this is very famous, another famous poem of Sappho's. This is Sappho number 1, and this is the famous Poikilathron Athanat Aphrodite. And it's a lyric monody. It really consists of a prayer to Aphrodite for assistance in a love affair. You'll note the predominance of very soft consonants in the poem, and the poem begins and ends with an invocation to Aphrodite. And what Sappho's done is she's taken all of the formulae of a correct prayer and she's translated them into what we would see as a personal poem. Now, I'm just going to read through the poem and translate it, perhaps explain some of the funny forms of things of the Aeolic dialect. So it begins, Poikilathron Athanat Aphrodite, Pai Dios doloplake lissomaise. I'll just pause it there. So we have an invocation, Aphrodite, evocative here, Athanat, immortal, so immortal Aphrodite, Poikilathron. Well, this word only appears here. You can see the roots of it here. Poikilos, varied or elaborate, it's often translated as, and then thronos. So, immortal Aphrodite with the elaborate throne, and this is as I said, it only occurs here. The child of Zeus. And then after all these high descriptions here of beautiful throned or elaborate throned and immortal and so on, we get doloplake, which again only occurs here. The plock is connected with pleko, which is to weave, and the dolos is guile, so weaver of guile, weaver of trickery. Lissomaise, I beseech you. This is not the sort of word you would use generally in an invocation to a goddess, to call them doloploke. Me asaisi me di oniaisi damna potnia thumon. And we're going to get a run over, in fact. But so me plus the damna, which is an imperative from damnami in this dialect. So do not tame me, asaisi. This is from a noun assay, first declension feminine, meaning grief or distress. So this is just a dative plural. So with pains or griefs or anguishes, you'll often see the omicron in place of where you would expect an alpha. So in Attic Greek you get ania. Another word meaning grief or trouble, often used of internal mental torment, and here we're getting the alpha's becoming an omicron. So do not tame me with anguish and nor heartache, perhaps, nor with mental torments, O lady. So, and then the thumon is internal accusative, in respect of my soul. So do not tame you could also take this as thumon as the object of the imperative, and take from moi, and take this as dative of the possessor. So the soul for me doesn't matter, could be internal accusative here with the thumon. So do not tame my soul with or my heart with anguish and heartache. Allah, but tuede elthe, but come hither. So tuede, probably for Tadi or something here, but come here. Now we get a for the what you would see in Attic as epsilon iota. You get that in Homer as well. It's just an Aeolic form of a. So if pota for pote. So if ever cat erota, you can see this is Crassus it's for kai plus aterota. And it's equivalent really to kai alote. So aterota, probably for heterota or heterota on a different occasion, on another occasion. So if ever on another occasion, eklues is the main verb here, you heard or you were listening, and it's taking, so you were listening to my audas, probably voice here, or singing perhaps, to my voice, to my sound. We get a recessive accent here again. So if ever at some other time, on some other occasion, you were listening to my voice as you were aissa. There's a verb aio, to hear. Now the oisa for usa, you get that commonly in this dialect. So this is actually a feminine participle here. So listening, and the paloi is just the dialect form of Telu. Dialect form of Telu, from afar. So just to put that together. So, but come here, if ever at some other occasion you were hearing, so listening from afar, you were hearing my voice. Plural for singular here. Patros de domon lipus crucion aelthes. So having left, here again we get the lipoisa for lipusa. It's the same as we saw up here. It's the dialect form for usa, it's the feminine participle, and this is the aorist, a strong aorist from lapo. So having left the golden home of your father, you came. So this is what happened on previous occasions. So you left the golden home, so you came having left the golden home of your father. Arma for Hama, for the chariot. Oop as Duke Sisa. And again, we're getting the isa for usa here. It's a feminine, another feminine participle again. And we get psilosis again. Upa for hoopa. And the sigma delta is for zeta. So you get zugnumi, to yoke. Here we're getting hoopa zugnumi, so it's to lead well, normally the horses, but they're not going to be horses here, but having yoked your chariot. So just to put that bit together, so you came having left the golden home of your father, having yoked your chariot, from hoopa zugnumi. We get a nice enjambment here up here as well with the eklues. So the verb here is hoopa zugnumi in this dialect. Kaloi de se argon okes struthoi perigas melainas pugna dinentes pter ap orano itheros diameso. So we get kaloi, beautiful struthoi, these are sparrows, and they're okus, this would normally be okase in later Greek, with contractions, so it's just from okus, so beautiful swift sparrows. Now we're told that sparrows were thought in antiquity to be wanton and promiscuous, and hence this is meant to have an erotic overtone here. So these beautiful swift sparrows, argon for agon, imperfect from ago, were leading you. Dinentes, participle from dinami, which in later Greek becomes dineo, to whirl or to spin. It's almost really beating here because it's their patera, so whirling or beating their wings. Pukna is adverbial, meaning frequently. so frequently beating their hymns around the black land. Now these are genitives here after the peri. So around the black land, beating frequently their wings, and appa of course, and then you can see by the little way it's been written here, this is also crasis for the O for oo. It's a common thing in this dialect. So this is really connected with Uranos, and then we've got Itheros. So that would be Uranu Itheros, genitive here. So from the airy heaven, so from the misty or airy heaven, dia meso for mesu, again it's omega for u, so through the middle of it. So just putting that together, the beautiful swift sparrows were leading you around the black land, whirling or perhaps beating frequently their wings, and they were leading you from the air of heaven, or the airy heaven, or the heavenly air perhaps might be better, diamesu, through the middle, through its midst. Ipsa de ex ikanto, but suddenly ex hikonto, they have arrived. So this is all happening very quickly. We get this lot of movement on the part of the birds, and then they're moving frequently and through the middle of the air, and so quickly they come. So quickly they come. But you, O Machaira, you, O Blessed One, and me diaisisi. Now we've seen before, I think this is from me diao, to smile, and the alpha gets lengthened to this alpha iota, and then we get this feminine participle again. But you, O Blessed One, smiling with your immortal face. So I think there's meant to be a contrast here, I think, between the rush of the sparrows and then the fact that Aphrodite herself is quite calm and relaxed. She's smiling with her immortal face. A rea is from eremai, to ask, and this is just the part imperfect here, middle. So I think that would be an omicron, would be elided here and uncontracted. So you asked. Now hot tea is for hot space tea, whatsoever thing. And we get this lovely de ute here, which is from de plus aute. You see this, it's in, you do get that combination, but written as two words in Homer. You will see it there in Homer as well, de ute. It means now again, but it denotes a sense of indignation or impatience. And Sappho uses it here, I think, 3 times. We're going to get it here and here and here again a little bit later on in the next section. So it's a very important word in this. It's stressing the fact now again. It's it's almost like not again. So she asked, in respect of what thing, yet again, so what thing I have suffered. So it goes back to the first person again. So she was asking, in respect of what thing, now again I have suffered, Pepontha perfect from Pasco, Koti for Kai Oti, that is, and in respect of what thing, so for what reason, yet again, Kalemi, I call you. Koti again for Kai Oti, and in respect of what thing, so in other words, what thing do I wish especially to take place for me for me who am who have a crazy destructive thumos. You can see the roots here again, minor my for mad, to go crazy, and the ol, which is from that ol lumi, destruction. So in this crazy destructive thumos of mine, my heart. So just to put that bit together again here, so she was asking in respect of what thing, now again, so what now am I suffering? We've put it into better English there. So she asked, what now, in fact, am I suffering? And why now, again, do I call you? Kalemi for Kallio in this dialect. And what thing I wish most of all to happen to me who have a destructive madness in my thumos, a thumos which is frenzied or raving almost for Manolis. Tina deute patho. Tina deute patho. So so whom once again deute patho am I to persuade to lead back again to you. Now the again is a participle here. Sorry, it's an infinitive from ago. In fact, we see some interesting forms here. So again, and there's the textual problems here as well with the again. And I'm not sure they've been totally solved. Again is just for again, epsilon iota nu, to lead. Other scholars think this may be the correct reading was tagain, another infinitive to a point. Others again think that it might be an infinitive form from agnumi, to break, so to be broken in your friendship. In other words, in the sense to have their resistance to your love broken down. I think I'm just going to take it as again, to lead. I think it's easiest to do that, but there are problems with it apparently. You see here a digamma, which is an old W sound. It's one of the few places you'll see it in Greek. It's for Juan would be sane in later Greek, I think, so it's the personal adjective, your, and philotata into your love or affections. So putting this together then, it says, whom yet again am I to persuade to lead back to you, I think perhaps soy here, or to lead for you into your affections, to bring back to your affections. So, paraphrase it slightly, it's whom now yet again must I persuade to lead to love you. Tisse o psaf adikae. Who, O Sappho, dicio, it's a very odd form here at the end. So who, O Sappho, is doing you wrong? Who is wronging you? This is psaf, it's probably omicron iota elided here, so that it'd be a vocative. So who, O Sappho, is doing you wrong? And it continues here, Kaiga a fuge tachios dioxe, Idadora me decet ala dose, Ide me phile tachios philese kouk etheloisa. For, now again we get the A for epsilon iota here of for if. And the chi is almost for even if. Now we're not told who the subject of this is, and we're not told the gender of the subject. We don't get that. I'll have to spoil it here by looking at the last participle here, you can see it's feminine, so it's a girl, not a boy, she's the object here. So for even if she is fleeing, Tachios, quickly she will pursue, from Dioko, future from Dioko, to chase after you. So very quickly she will chase after you. And if she does not receive gifts, now this is from Dechamai with a chi, but we're getting deaspiration in this dialect. And if she does not receive your gifts, well then she will give, understand gifts. She'll be the one to give gifts. And if she does not love you, then Tachios again repeated, very quickly she will love you. Coke for kai uk, even if she is even if she is not willing. We get that ethello, and we're getting again the oisa for the usa for the feminine participle. So even if she does not love you, very quickly she will love you, even if she doesn't want to, even against her will. Very powerful lines there. And there's some nice rhyming endings here. We get dioxei, dosei, philesei, which is almost like an incantation here. And as I mentioned, this fixes the gender of her lover, which we don't know up to this point, because earlier on Aphrodite just says who, tis, well it could be male or female, or tina could be male or female. And then with the verbs we're not told who the subject is until finally we realise at the end that it's etheloisa. Elthimoi kai nun, kalepan de luson ek merimnan, ossa demoi telesai thumos himere, teleson sudauta sumakos eso. And so come now also to me. So she said all the stuff that she said before, the things that she said that Aphrodite had said before, and now she says, come now again to me, and luson, this is an imperative of course from luo, release me from. Now this is tricky here, this is kalepan, but this an is not an accusative singular, it's a dative plural. This is for kalepon. And same with this is from merimna, but it's merimnon. So save me from these terrible cares, ossa, as many as my heart, a heart for me, imere, this is from himero, to desire. You get himeros and himero, to desire. So as many as the heart for me desires to come to fruition, fulfill them. So fulfill all those things which my heart desires to come to fruition. Sudauta sumakos eso. Now the eso is the imperative from the verb to be in this dialect, so it's like isti in later Greek. So be. So you, outer, you yourself, be, or perhaps become, my sumakos, my ally. And this in fact is the complete poem. We know this from the manuscript tradition. It ends in a double line here in the manuscript, indicating that that's the end of the poem. So this poem is the only complete poem of Sappho that we have. So just to finish off this last bit again, so all this earlier bit was, this is what Aphrodite had said in the past, and now she calls her to come back again. So come to me also now, release me from these harsh cares, as fulfill as many things as my thumos, my heart desires to come to completion, and you yourself be my sumakos, my ally.